Hi and welcome to this second video of our assignment 6 in topic 6. And going back to the assignment on top of the file, we see that we now need to write a function called shiftToPositive. And shiftToPositive creates an array with the same elements as the input array. So an array is given, we make a new array. But it ensures that all elements are positive by shifting them all with the smallest possible number if needed. So basically we need to find the minimum and add the minimum to all elements. Well, at least the absolute value of the minimum to all elements. And then all elements will be positive. So we have to shift them so that all elements are positive, and we all need to shift them with the smallest possible number. Of course, this means that all elements need to be shifted with the same amount, of course. Okay, so let's check the tests perhaps, just to see if we are clear on this. So shiftToPositive, if I have this array and I need to shift this array, then the minimum is 7, so we need to add 7 minus 7, so we need to add 7 to all elements, and then of course we will get into positive ground. 7 minus 2 is 5, 1 minus 7 plus 7 is 8, 0 plus 7 is 7, minus 3 plus 7 is 4, and of course minus 7, which is the smallest number, plus 7 becomes 0. So that's the shift we need to do. And luckily we can build on earlier functions we made, because we also already have the minimum. Okay, and we can use this of course to take care of that. So let's get the shiftToPositive, and well, one function coming up is shiftPositive in place. So we need to build a new array. Okay, create an array with the same elements as the input array, and the shiftToPositive in place will do the same thing but in place. So meaning that no new array is made, so the original array is updated. So let's first do the normal shiftToPositive. I need to set up a function. There we go, and it gives me an array, well, or at least the caller will give me an array. I will point to the array with my variable array, and then I will shiftToPositive. So the first thing I need to do is find the minimum. So let's just say we need to find the shift, and that's of course the minimum of this array. Okay. So for that I have a function. I could call extreme with no second argument, which would be defaulting to true, and then find the minimum as well. So I could write extreme or minimum. Either way it would work. And of course when I shift, I will add the shift amount to all the elements in the array, but I need to make sure that I'm adding a positive number. Okay, so what if all the numbers are positive already? Then I don't need to do anything. Okay, so I need to make sure that I don't shift things that are not needed to be shifted. So let's see, if my minimum happens to be smaller than 0, I will well, perhaps I should set up a shift. No, I already have a shift variable, so what I'll do is this. In case I have a minimum, the shift will be of course set to something positive. Okay. But I only have to do this in this case, so in the other case I can't shift anything. So if I'm going to set up the shift to perhaps 0 in the other case. Okay, but that's kind of ridiculous, but because shifting with 0 would be doing a lot of work for nothing. So let's just do it like this. If I have a minimum that's negative, only then I will do the work. Okay. So I know that in the past I said, well, try to do things one after another, but here it's would really be less optimized if I were to first decide shift being either positive number or else just shift 0 and then add shift to all elements, because if shift is going to be 0, there's no use in adding 0 to, let's say, 1,000,000 elements. Okay, so I'm going to decide on doing it here. For this I need to set up a result array. Okay, and otherwise I'm going to just return the new array. So let's do this. Well, let's figure it out afterwards. First I'm going to just return the array in this case, but with a remark. Right? It needs to be a copy because I cannot return the array itself. It was explicitly asked to create an array with the same elements as the input array, but ensure that all elements are positive. So even though they are positive, I need to make a copy. Okay. Let's tackle that in a minute. So first I'm going to set up an empty result array, return the array, so return the result, and in between I need to fill it out. So I'm going to again let all elements of my array pass the review, and all of them will be pushed to res, but of course I will push with my shift amount. Okay, so let's see. If my shift would be perhaps -7, then it will be smaller than 0. I will turn the shift into +7. Okay, and then I will just add all the elements of my array to the new array called res by pushing them, but I won't push just the element. I will push the element plus the shift. Okay, that's basically the solution to this problem. And then of course in this case I would need to copy the array. And now I figure that perhaps my first idea wasn't so bad to do this, because I might as well do this and say in the else case my shift will be just 0. Okay, so either the shift will be negative, in which case I make it positive, or if it's not negative I will replace it by 0, and then I can do this. I will just do this, and I don't need to do all of this. Okay, because in the case that I have a positive minimum, so let's say that 3 is the minimum of the array, meaning that everything is positive, then in that case minimum is not smaller than 0. I'm going to shift 0, and then here again I'm going to add all the elements to the new array, but I will shift them by 0. But that's basically copying. Okay. So let's return res. Here we go, and I don't need these because it's just a one line 4. So okay, so let's check the function against SRP. Only one parameter. I only have one indent in these cases. Okay, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines of code. I usually don't count the else, and I don't count the return because they're always there. So that's why I basically say 6 to 7. Okay, it's kind of a rule of thumb, not an exact number I want to push forward. Okay, will live if you write a function with 8 lines as well. But again, it's alarming if you have 6, 7 lines, then you must see to it that probably you need to untangle responsibilities and make more than one function out of the original function. Well, that's it. I have my shiftToPositive, and I will test it now. If it's okay, then we can move on to the next. And I have a problem here. Oh yes, I probably have an older solution somewhere underneath. So shiftToPositive, here it is. Okay, and I will just take it out for the time being, because that's the one we're dealing with here. Okay. And now I have what? Let's click to see the difference. I have 5, 8, 7, 4 zeros expected, and I have -2, 1, 0. So it seems like something's off. Okay, let's check this. Okay, so I'm going to just hold on here, and I will, because I think I have only one test, so I'm in the clear. This will only hold in the one test. So let's jumpstart the debugging. I have the array -2, 1, 0, -3, and -7. Okay, so I will find, and now I can demonstrate the step over, because I don't want to go into the minimum function. I'm assuming that this is going to be alright. Okay, so step over. Or did I did do step over? Yes. So why did he jump into minimum? Let's see. Do it again. If I'm asking to step over, he should step over the functions, right? He doesn't. Well, strange behavior. Okay, but I can step out. Okay, and then I see that my minimum is -7, which it should be, considering the array given. Okay, now if the minimum is negative, which it is, then I will have to. Oh, I did. Yes, so he jumps to this, and probably that's because of something weird. And he kind of yes, okay, that's because I had a minimum originally, and now I changed it to shift. Okay, so I should of course compare to shift. Okay, so I changed the name minimum to shift, but I didn't change it there. Okay, let's try again. So now I'm into the green, everything's okay. Let's go over it one more time. I'm finding the minimum of the array. If the minimum is negative, I need to shift, but I need to shift, of course, with a positive number. So if the minimum is -7, I need to add 7 to everything. If the minimum is not negative, then that means that everything is already positive, and I will shift 0. Either way, I'm having a new empty array. I'm pushing all the elements, but I'm shifting by adding the shift for all elements of the array. And that's it for this exercise.